General Hospital will reveal interesting facts of the week from May 19th to 23rd, 2025. First, as the glittering lights of the nurses' ball illuminated the stage, every note from Joe's violin echoed with raw emotion, captivating the audience in a silent trance. No one in the crowd, not even Brooke Lynn, could have anticipated that this moment would ignite a seismic revelation, shattering decades of carefully buried truths. Brooke Lynn sat frozen, eyes wide with shock as if hypnotized, watching the young musician perform with soul and vulnerability. Deep within her heart, a familiar warmth stirred, one that was both comforting and terrifying. The contours of his face, the mannerisms, the aura, they all stitched together a painful realization she could no longer deny. This was the child she once carried, once gave away, and then kept hidden from Dante for all these years. Elsewhere in the ballroom, Lulu observed from the shadows, gripping her phone tightly. Inside it, irrefutable evidence linking Dante, Brooke Lynn, and Gio by blood. To Lulu, the truth wasn't a matter of emotion, it was a moral obligation. Driven by a mother's instincts, a need to protect Rocco, and a relentless belief that Dante deserved to know his son, she had resolved to act. She didn't want to bring chaos, but silence had already stolen too many second chances. She couldn't let it happen again. Unaware of the bombshell about to detonate, Dante enjoyed a rare moment of peace, attending the event as both a guest and an officer. He applauded Joe's performance with genuine admiration, not knowing that he was clapping for the son he never knew existed. The fragile tranquility he embraced that night would soon be torn apart once the truth took center stage. Brooke Lynn struggled to breathe, her heart pounding erratically. She couldn't take her eyes off Gio. Memories of a quiet birth, years of running, and a lifetime of shame and fear rushed back. She had never dared to search for her son, fearing judgment, rejection, or even self-destruction. But now, none of those fears mattered in the face of what she knew. She could no longer run. She could no longer hide. The maternal instinct within her rose with unbearable force, but so did the terror of losing Dante forever. When the truth came out, he wouldn't just grieve the time lost with his child, he would feel betrayed by the woman he once trusted. Their already fragile connection, hanging by a thread, would unravel into something irreparable. Brooke Lynn's heart ached at the thought of causing that pain, yet she also knew that denying this moment would rob her of the chance to reclaim her son. The story swelled like a crescendo in a symphony. Lulu held the power to break the silence in front of everyone, right there in the ballroom. She could choose to unveil the truth publicly, triggering a cascade of shock and confrontation. Or she could wait for a more private moment, but time was no longer a luxury. Gio himself was beginning to sense something. The way Brooke Lynn looked at him, the inexplicable sense of familiarity, they were clues, and he was piecing them together, consciously or not. After the performance, Dante would sense that something had changed. Maybe he'd see Brooke Lynn crying, unsure why. Maybe he'd catch Lulu's haunted expression. And then, in a rapid torrent, the truth would come, evidence, confessions, and a tidal wave of emotion. He would be forced to face a reality for which he had no preparation. Gio was his son, his blood, a piece of his past now standing before him in flesh and bone. At the dazzling heart of the nurses' ball, where joy, celebration, and inspiration filled the room, a family was being torn apart by the weight of secrets. And amid all the sparkle, tears silently fell. From a father mourning years lost, from a mother desperate to reconnect with the child she gave away, and from a son who had just discovered that everything he believed about his identity was built on lies carefully fed by fear. Second, of course, there will be a dazzling array of other exciting moments unfolding at the nurses' ball as the celebration kicks off on May 20th. As one of the most anticipated events in Port Charles, the nurses' ball never fails to deliver a mix of glitz, glamour, and unexpected surprises. From heartfelt tributes to jaw-dropping reveals, the evening promises to be packed with emotional highs and light-hearted fun. The entire town will turn up in their best attire, eager to enjoy a night of entertainment, charity, and perhaps a few scandalous twists along the way. As fans of General Hospital settle in for the spectacle, they'll be treated to a series of red carpet interviews that offer a closer glimpse at the glitz behind the scenes. Viewers can expect familiar faces to strut in designer gowns and sharp tuxedos, with reporters eagerly tossing questions about relationships, recent drama, and of course, personal hopes for the evening's success. These interviews often serve as the perfect setup for awkward encounters and unexpected chemistry, and this year will be no exception. At some point during the celebration, Cody and Molly are poised to find themselves in an unexpectedly awkward position. Whether through sheer coincidence or some orchestrated twist of fate, the two will be thrust together in front of the flashing cameras, sparking a moment that neither is fully prepared for. With the red carpet hosting more than just fashion statements, all eyes will be on the duo as they scramble to make sense of their sudden spotlight. There's growing speculation that Cody and Molly will be mistaken for a romantic couple by at least one overzealous reporter. The misunderstanding might arise from a casual comment, a friendly gesture, or simply the timing of their arrival together. In the whirlwind environment of the nurses' ball, even a shared glance or brief exchange can be blown out of proportion by the press, leaving Cody and Molly flustered under the public gaze. Faced with cameras, microphones, and a crowd eager for gossip, Cody and Molly may find themselves stumbling over their words in an effort to correct the assumption. They might try to clarify that they're just friends, only to inadvertently make the situation seem even more suspicious. Or perhaps, after a few seconds of confusion, they'll exchange glances and decide it's easier, and maybe even fun, to just roll with the reporter's narrative, pretending to be a couple for the sake of the cameras. Ironically, this accidental mislabeling might serve as a catalyst for something more genuine. Once the initial awkwardness wears off, Cody and Molly could begin to see each other in a new light. Sometimes, it takes a spark of public confusion to ignite private curiosity, and the shared experience of navigating a public misunderstanding might bond them more than either expected. As they reflect on the moment later in the evening, the laughter and shared embarrassment could give way to a deeper, more sincere connection. In the end, what begins as a humorous red carpet blunder might mark the beginning of a new chapter. The energy of the nurses' ball, combined with the intimacy of shared vulnerability, could be just what Cody and Molly need to push past any lingering reservations. As the celebration continues with music, performances, and more surprise appearances, fans may begin to wonder if what started as an accident could lead to the town's next blossoming romance. Third, as the nurses' ball unfolds with all its glitz and spectacle, there remains a quieter, more bittersweet narrative simmering beneath the surface, one that belongs to Jordan and Isaiah. While the spotlight shines brightly on musical performances and red carpet glimmer, Jordan and Isaiah find themselves stealing a rare, private moment away from the crowd. It's a moment filled with unspoken words and silent regrets, a brief pause in the chaos that allows them to reflect on what could have been. In a different world, under different circumstances, they might have danced together openly, smiled under the camera flashes, and shared laughter with the rest of Port Charles. But reality has charted a different course, one shadowed by duty, danger, and a vendetta that Jordan can't seem to let go of. Jordan's obsession with bringing down Jen Sidwell has come at a steep personal cost. Her relentless pursuit of justice, while noble, has eroded the foundation of the budding relationship she had with Isaiah. Though Isaiah offered her comfort, steadiness, and the possibility of love, Jordan's priorities lay elsewhere: her badge, her mission, her unshakable need to expose corruption. And in that pursuit, she pushed Isaiah away, choosing the path of loneliness and sacrifice over personal happiness. But even as she tries to convince herself that it was the right decision, the lingering affection between them refuses to fade. So in the shadows of the celebration, as music echoes in the background and laughter floats through the halls, Jordan and Isaiah share a fleeting, secret kiss. It's not just a kiss of passion, but of longing, an acknowledgement of a connection still alive, even if their paths now diverge. It's a tender reminder of what they had, and perhaps a quiet promise of what they might still find again in the future. Yet the moment is fragile, vulnerable to disruption, especially with Sidwell lurking in the background, unpredictable and always watching. If Sidwell were to catch a glimpse of that kiss, if he were to see something he wasn't meant to see, it could unravel everything. His paranoia, already heightened by Jordan's investigation, would go into overdrive. He might interpret the moment as a betrayal, a trap, or worse, evidence that Jordan is playing a deeper game than he imagined. The danger surrounding Jordan would only increase, and Isaiah, once again, would be pulled into a storm he never asked for. Their innocent moment could become the spark that ignites a new level of conflict, one that neither of them is prepared for. Meanwhile, another confrontation brews in the background, this time involving Curtis and Portia. As Curtis begins to piece together inconsistencies in Portia's recent behavior, he finally confronts her, pushing her to reveal the true nature of her involvement in Drew's legal woes. Curtis has suspected for some time that Portia's advocacy for Drew went far beyond moral outrage or civic duty, and now he's ready for the truth. Backed into a corner, Portia must decide whether to keep up the charade or confess her complicity in a blackmail scheme that could upend everything. The weight of that confession could change not just Curtis's perception of her, but her entire standing in Port Charles. Portia has worked tirelessly to rebuild her life, her career, and her family, but this revelation threatens to destroy it all. And Curtis, still navigating his own emotional scars, must decide whether he can forgive another betrayal, especially from the woman he once believed would never lie to him again. Their confrontation will be raw, exposing wounds that have barely begun to heal, and setting the stage for a dramatic fallout that could shake more than just their relationship. As the evening stretches on, the nurses' ball continues to dazzle on the surface, but beneath the elegant gowns and choreographed routines, secrets churn like a dangerous undercurrent. Jordan and Isaiah's stolen moment may carry the risk of exposure. Sidwell's presence adds a layer of volatility to every interaction. And Curtis's demand for the truth from Portia could change the course of several lives. In Port Charles, even a night meant for charity and joy cannot escape the weight of hidden agendas and unresolved truths. Finally, no matter how things unfold at the nurses' ball, Drew continues to keep significant secrets from Willow, secrets that, if exposed, could unravel more than just their familial trust. Much like the deception Willow once endured at the hands of Nina, the mere suggestion that Drew is following in those footsteps casts a shadow over their current relationship. While Drew positions himself as a pillar of strength and integrity in the Corinthos circle, the cracks beneath his composed exterior may soon widen, especially if his lies come to light during one of the most public and emotionally charged events of the year. With the entire town gathered under one roof, any unexpected confrontation could create irreversible ripple effects for the Corinthos family, especially Willow, who has already endured more than her fair share of heartache. At the same time, the tension surrounding the nurses' ball doesn't stop with Drew's hidden agenda. Emma, returning to Port Charles with determination and frustration, is convinced that Jocelyn sabotaged her opportunity to serve as a research assistant and stole the recognition for a project she poured her soul into. While Emma's return was initially met with warmth and nostalgia, it's now clear that she harbors resentment and feels wronged in a deeply personal way. As the glitz of the nurses' ball unfolds around them, Emma will do whatever it takes to expose what she believes to be Jocelyn's betrayal, and she won't shy away from making a scene to clear her name. Jocelyn, on the other hand, will find herself caught in a public dilemma that threatens her hard-earned reputation. Known for her strength and resilience, she's no stranger to high-pressure situations, but the accusation from Emma strikes a nerve. Not only does it question her professional ethics, but it also paints her as someone capable of deception, a narrative Jocelyn fiercely rejects. With her future on the line and her name being dragged through whispered conversations and scandalous speculation, she will have to dig deep to defend herself in front of a judgmental audience. Luckily, Jocelyn isn't alone in this fight. Vaughn, steady and supportive, emerges as an unlikely but powerful ally. Their connection, once rooted in cautious admiration, will be tested and strengthened as he stands firmly in her corner. Vaughn's involvement adds an edge of romantic tension and unwavering loyalty to the unfolding drama. His support provides Jocelyn with the clarity and strength she needs to face Emma's accusations head-on. Whether it's through uncovering the truth or outmaneuvering Emma's manipulative tactics, Jocelyn is determined not to let her moment be stolen or her integrity be questioned. As the week of May 19th to 23rd barrels forward, the air in Port Charles will be thick with unpredictability. The Nurses' Ball, known for its elaborate performances and heartwarming tributes, may also become a stage for personal reckonings. Drew's carefully maintained facade could crumble under pressure, revealing truths he fought to bury. Willow may find herself blindsided once more, pushed into an emotional crossroad she didn't see coming. Meanwhile, the feud between Emma and Jocelyn is set to explode, and with Vaughn's involvement, the stakes are higher than ever. Port Charles thrives on drama, and this week, the drama may be more explosive than anyone imagined. Whether it's a quiet betrayal whispered backstage or a confrontation broadcast in front of the town's elite, the consequences of these actions will not fade with the applause. The Nurses' Ball is not merely a charity gala this year, it's a minefield of hidden truths, fractured friendships, and suppressed desires. The characters dancing beneath the sparkling lights may find themselves drawn into confrontations that could rewrite their futures. As secrets come to light and alliances are tested, it will be the week that reshapes Port Charles, and no one will come out of it unchanged.